Hello and welcome. You're watching This Is Exclusive with me, Shavan Sen. A very special edition of This Is Exclusive tonight, different than what we have done in the past. Ladies and gentlemen, our focus tonight is on what Indian Navy has been able to achieve. History has been created. In just one day, 2 frigates have now been commissioned. Tonight, we take you inside the 2 frigates that Indian Navy has just commissioned. But before that, let me take you through the headlines we are tracking at this hour. Big boost for India's maritime power. Indian Navy commissions twin titans, INS Udaygiri and INS Himgiri.
मैं नेवी को एक बात के लिए और बधाई देना चाहता हूँ। आज आपने स्वदेशी F-35 वारशिप लॉन्च कर दिया। आपने समुद्र पर दौड़ने वाला F-35 बनाकर दिया है, वह भी मेड इन इंडिया।
Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh launched India's naval prowess reflects on India's newest floating F-35 equipment.
ये ऑपरेशन सिंदूर अभी खत्म नहीं हुआ है और अगली बार जरूरत पड़ी तो हो सकता है कि ओपनिंग हमारी नौसेना के द्वारा ही होगी।
Chief of Naval Staff Admiral Dinesh Tripathi sends out a big message. Says Indian Navy would do the opening in next war. At least 5 killed in landslide en route Vaishno Devi Shrine. Rescue operations underway. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a historic milestone for India's maritime might. India's naval strength soars with the commissioning of INS Udaygiri, a state-of-the-art Nilgiri-class stealth frigate today at Visakhapatnam. Built indigenously under Project 17A, this warship, packed with BrahMos missiles and advanced stealth technology, showcases India's self-reliant defense capabilities. If you're essentially wondering that why exactly is this frigate so very special for the Indian Navy, that's because frigates are generally known as something that does not travel very fast. Contrary to that understanding, Indian Navy's this frigate happens to be one of the fastest in the world. And remember, it has one of the most formidable armory. First, take a sneak peek into what's really happening inside INS Udaygiri.
Blue water, bold moves. The INS Udaygiri stands tall, a sleek, stealthy symbol of India's growing naval prowess. This Nilgiri-class stealth frigate was officially commissioned into the Indian Navy alongside its sister ship INS Himgiri in a landmark dual induction ceremony presided over by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh.
जिस जज्बे के साथ, जिस मेहनत और लगन के साथ आप लोगों ने INS उदयगिरी और INS हिमगिरी को तैयार किया है, वह अपने आप में इनक्रेडिबल। जिस तरह से आपने इंडिजिनस डिजाइन को मैन्युफैक्चर करके यह स्टेट ऑफ द आर्ट वारशिप तैयार किया है, वह काबिल तारीफ है। आपको और आपकी पूरी टीम को मैं अपनी तरफ से हार्दिक बधाई देता हूं। आपकी टीम ने सिर्फ एक जहाज नहीं बनाया, बल्कि इनोवेशन और सेल्फ रिलायंस की एक आपने मिसाल कायम की है। आप सबको, खासकर INS उदयगिरी और INS हिमगिरी के सभी क्रू मेंबर्स, इसके मैकेनिस्ट और नेवी के ऑफिसर्स, हमारे साइंटिस्ट, कॉन्ट्रैक्टर, सबको मैं बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं।
INS Udaygiri is second of 7 frigates under Project 17A, displacing 6,700 tons and stretching 149 meters. This warship is packed with advanced stealth technology to evade radar, infrared and acoustic detection
of ships at extended ranges.
Equipped with BrahMos supersonic cruise missiles, the Barak 8 surface-to-air missiles and anti-submarine systems like torpedo tubes and rocket launchers. This is India's shield in the seas.
Udaygiri and Himgiri.
A shining example of Make in India. INS Udaygiri boasts 75% indigenous content. As part of the Eastern Naval Command's Sunrise Fleet, INS Udaygiri will patrol vital sea lanes, countering threats in the much contested Indo-Pacific. United, ultimate, unbeatable. INS Udaygiri is a beacon of India's self-reliance and naval strength.
They say that frigates aren't fast enough, but that's exactly the point that has been worked upon as far as these stealth frigates are concerned. Joining us tonight on This Is Exclusive is the commanding officer of INS Udaygiri, Commodore Vikas Sood is joining us. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us on This Is Exclusive. Let me straight away begin by asking you the stealth features of INS Udaygiri. What makes it so very different than the other frigates that we have actually seen?
The ship has been firstly designed by the Warship Design Bureau of the Indian Navy. The design of this ship is very unique and very special from the previous ships built by the Indian Navy as well as the previous ship of a similar class, that is the Project 17, in terms of stealth firstly. So when I talk of stealth, the stealth comprises of in the three domains primarily, that is underwater, on the infrared signature as well as the radar signature. So we have been able to achieve immense stealth capability in all these three domains by fitment of the latest technology, systems, equipment and suppression techniques to ensure that we are as far as possible very silent platforms in these three domains. So that makes detection very challenging, and we are kind of nearly boast of being invisible when we are there at sea. So that is a very important aspect of our design change. Another very critical feature is the induction of the weapon and the sensor package. The Indian Navy has invested heavily in terms of standardization of our equipment. So if you see that the above water warfare equipment which is fitted are the state of the art equipment, much advanced over our previous Project 17, and we are also able to have advanced systems and equipment in terms of the surveillance capability. So the surveillance capability with the 3D air surveillance radar that we have, the electronic warfare capability that we have, these platforms are much ahead of time of the comparative frigates earlier, and the 15 Bravo platforms of the Indian Navy which were there, we are more closer to those platforms by now. One more aspect I would like to highlight is the underwater warfare, which is also a very critical phase of our deployment. In that as well, we have huge indigenous equipment available. The torpedoes that we have, the tubes are again indigenous. The rocket launcher, the integrated rocket launcher is indigenous, and the sonar has always been our core capability, and we have an indigenous sonar which is very capable. So in all these aspects, I would say that the design of the ship is very advanced and brings immense capability to the platforms.
There is a huge talk as far as the multi-mission capabilities of INS Udaygiri. Help us understand that how does this really translate, especially at a time when we still say that Operation Sindoor is still on. How does this really enhance the capabilities of the Indian Navy?
Yeah, so the ships of the Indian Navy, particularly frigates and above, the like destroyers, we have the multi-mission capability. So these ships have got the capability to detect at far ranges through multiple radars ranging from farther ranges to the closer ranges. We have the electronic warfare systems which can give us early warnings much in advance, because of which we will be able to focus on specific areas of our interest. And also multi-domain, when I talk of, is also the anti-submarine warfare capability that the ship has, in which it has got formidable sensor capability in which the sonar is able to detect at various ranges. In addition to this, the ships also have got the capability of the flying frigates with us. So when I say flying frigates are the latest state-of-the-art helicopters that these platforms are capable to operate. They independently bring about huge capability because they are themselves multi-dimensional in their capability, and also provide these ships with added range as well as enhanced sensor as well as weapon capability once we are trying to operate in multi-dimension.
Two major combatants now being commissioned as far as the Eastern Naval Command is concerned. How does this really change the scenario along the Eastern Naval Command?
So as you would understand that the Indian Navy has got the two seaboards, that is the Western and the Eastern Seaboard, and with our growing interest in the Indo-Pacific and in the Indian Ocean region, there is a very essential need that these both seaboards are very well balanced in terms of their capability, in terms of the force deployment, in terms of the numbers which are deployed. So as you would know that both of the aircraft carriers and a number of other capital platforms are based out of the Western Seaboard. So there's a felt need that the Eastern Seaboard also is able to have formidable and capable platforms, and these ships will be able to bring that very essential numeric numbers and the capability to the Eastern Seaboard.
India's desire to be a blue water navy, with the induction of these two indigenous frigates, how does that really change?
So these ships have got big and long sea legs. They have got endurance in which they can be deployed at sea for long durations independently. So the frigates, as you would understand, are platforms which are very capable, and they are capable of being deployed in multi-role, multi-dimension tasking independently. So if these ships independently are able to have longer sea legs, minimum dependency on shore or a fleet auxiliary or a support ship to provide it with support, then we will be able to cover and influence much greater and much bigger sea room expanse that is there. And as you know that the Indian Navy needs to influence particularly the Indian Ocean region and be the first responder to any requirement which comes in this region. So these ships will be able to, with its multi-role capability, they will be able to be deployed in this vast sea room at the earliest and for long durations. So the sustenance of these ships, which is their very big capability, will provide the much required blue water capability to the Indian Navy.
Thank you very much for joining us on This Is Exclusive and putting this into perspective.
Thank you very much.
Well, it wasn't just about INS Udaygiri. Indian Navy has also welcomed INS Himgiri, which also happens to be a formidable Nilgiri-class stealth frigate that was basically designed once again in-house and equipped with a cutting-edge weaponry and sensors. This is also part of Project 17A warship, which basically highlights India's growing maritime prowess. What's important to point out here, that for the first time, you're essentially looking at two stealth frigates being commissioned in one single day. And not just that, it is equipped with one of the most state-of-the-art weaponry system, which undoubtedly gives Indian Navy an edge over the others.
INS Himgiri,
Today, a new guardian of India's seas takes its place in history.
of Visakhapatnam.
INS Himgiri, A state-of-the-art stealth frigate was commissioned into the Indian Navy at Visakhapatnam. Named after the snow-clad Himalayas, INS Himgiri carries forward the legacy of its predecessor, a Leander-class frigate that served with distinction from 1974 to 2005. The new Himgiri is a Nilgiri-class stealth frigate under Project 17A. Equipped with BrahMos supersonic cruise missiles, Barak 8 air defense systems, and advanced sensors, Himgiri is built for anti-surface, anti-air, and anti-submarine warfare. Its 75% indigenous content reflects the success of the Make in India initiative, supporting over 200 MSMEs and creating thousands of jobs.
A shorter build period for both.
Next generation.
Himgiri's journey from blueprint to reality showcases India's shipbuilding prowess.
Propulsion system. She has both.
आप सबको खासकर INS उदयगिरी और INS हिमगिरी के सभी क्रू मेंबर्स, इसके मैकेनिस्ट और नेवी के ऑफिसर्स, हमारे साइंटिस्ट, कॉन्ट्रैक्टर, सबको मैं बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। देवी और सज्जनों, जब ये दोनों वारशिप अपने मिशन पर निकलेंगी तो मेरी शुभकामना है कि वे ऑनर और प्राइड के साथ इंडियन नेवी को सर्व करें। समुद्र की लहरों के बीच इनके ऊपर हमारा तिरंगा गर्व से लहराए।
Himgiri.
As INS Himgiri joins the fleet, it sends a clear message. India's oceans are guarded by ships built by Indian hands, designed by Indian minds, and driven by Indian resolve.
Shifting focus now to INS Himgiri. Joining us is the commanding officer, Captain Robin Chakrabarti. Captain Chakrabarti, first to you with regards to how does this really change the landscape?
Well, like I just mentioned, Himgiri has got long sea legs. When I say long sea legs, for the inadvertent, I would just like to explain. We have got two types of engines. We have got gas turbines, which give us speed, where we can move very fast, we can achieve our target, we can go to a place very fast. We also have diesel engines, which gives us long endurance at sea, by which we can remain, we have the capability of having persistence at sea. We can go out to sea, remain there and wait for a particular thing to happen, to react to it, respond to it, and achieve what the mission has been set out for us by the Navy or by the nation.
In fact, one of the biggest focus has been on the electronic warfare and the capabilities that INS Himgiri really has. Help us understand that.
Well, like I just told you, it is the latest stealth frigate in the Indian Navy. So let me just break it down into two different parts. Like when I say stealth, it means it cannot be seen. It cannot be seen through the radars when we are on the water. It cannot be seen by the submarines under the water, because we have acoustic stealth, because our machinery and everything has been designed in such a way that we don't generate much noise. So we have acoustic stealth also, we have got radar stealth, and finally we have got heat stealth, infrared stealth, because the infrared signature is drastically reduced by various means on board our ship, so that we don't generate enough infrared signature. So we are a stealth in that sense. When I say frigate, I mean the ships are ranged on different classes based on the size and performance. Destroyers are the biggest ships. They're grand. They got a lot of weapons. Frigates are more versatile. They've got more endurance. They go for longer distance. We are a frigate. We have got the best of both worlds. We have the weapons and sensors of the latest destroyers. That's the MF Star and the BrahMos, MSM kind of weapons, as well as we have the versatility of frigates. So we are in between both the ships. So we are a frigate plus a kind of a ship. So we are a stealth frigate, and Himgiri has got a various range of weapons for surface, subsurface, as well as air warfare.
A lot has actually been spoken about the warfare capabilities of INS Himgiri. If you had to break it down for all our viewers, what would that be?
Of course, we have got a whole range of sensors, and this sensors range from surveillance sensors. We have got radars, and which have got very long range and very accurate. So one is a quality and one is a quantity. So quantitative. That means we have very long range radars, which also gives very accurate data to us. We also have surveillance systems, the communication surveillance systems, electronic warfare systems, and underwater sensors. And mind you, I would like to, I should have probably said it right up front, most of this are indigenous, because INS Himgiri is a landmark historical Aatmanirbhar ship in every sense. Made for India, built for India, for every Indian.
INS Himgiri, how does this really fit into the larger scheme of things, particularly in terms of the requirement of the Eastern Naval Command?
India as such in general, and Indian Navy in particular, we take pride in being the first responder in the Indian Ocean region. Indian Ocean region, as you are aware, is a playground for many navies. It's the most heavy, dense background, dense waters in the present present generation, I would say. And as it says that, you know, the future of the world will be decided in the waters of the Indian Ocean. In this area, we are one of the strongest resident powers. We are the first responders for be it humanitarian issues, or be it natural disasters, or be it the security issues. We believe in inclusive growth for everybody. We have the concept of Sagar, which is security and growth for all in the region, and which we have now gone into Mahasagar, which we take everybody along, and that is what Indian Navy wants to do. And if Indian Navy wants to do that, and it will need assets, and Himgiri, assets like Himgiri, which have got long sea legs, which we can stay out at sea for long times. We can do various types of roles. We fit in very well into the scheme of things of Indian Navy to further the role of being the first responder, and making sure that everybody in this region is able to do what they want to do, and seas remain free.
Help us understand what exactly is the battle combat management system in the INS Himgiri, which has been spoken about.
We have a multiple, so I'll first start with the combat management system that we have. We have an integral and indigenous combat management system, which is able to give a realistic picture, and we are able to manage the air picture, underwater picture amongst us. And this is not just within the ship. I can easily transport my data to some other ship, or I can take some data from some other ship. What I mean is that we are integrated as a whole in the fleet. If I am tracking something, I don't need the another person who's along with me. He doesn't need to transmit. I can give the data to him. I can use his weapons to attack something, and we can achieve our target in an integrated manner. For all this, we have a entire system, which is a combat management system, which is again indigenous, and it's across the board on all ships.
A boost has been also given to the air capabilities of INS Himgiri, particularly being able to launch various attacks. How is it different than what we witnessed earlier?
Yes, of course. Thank you for that question, because air element is a very important element of warfare at sea. The helicopters that the Indian Navy has we have a range of helicopters, each designed for a particular function. So we have helicopters which are particularly suited for search and rescue. Suppose somebody is at sea who needs rescue. Somebody at sea, there's been a cyclone at sea and requires a SAR, search and rescue. So we have the Chetaks, LOHs, which can go and recover those things. We have got Sea Kings, which are which can have special forces component, or it could have ASW component. And we have, of course, have the latest MH-60R, which is latest inducted helicopter, which has a multitude of activities, capabilities, which assist the capabilities of the ship. The ship itself has its own sonar, has its own surveillance, has its own weapon systems, but the helicopter, which is, we also call it as a flying frigate. So it is called as a flying frigate because of its capabilities. It goes ahead, it can go ahead and give us surveillance from, and it can be our eyes further from us. It can also attack underwater or aerial targets or surface targets, and it can also conduct search and rescue for the ship. So it gives us a flexibility. We have one capability of carrying one helicopter with us. It could be any of the helicopters depending on the mission that is assigned to INS Himgiri.
Thank you very much for joining us on This Is Exclusive. Well, that's all that we could pack in this edition of This Is Exclusive. Coming up, trending with my colleague Rakshita.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
QS&THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जलजीरा मसाला।
जब मुंबई से वापस कोल्हापुर शिफ्ट हुआ तो सबने कहा कि ड्रीम सिटी को छोड़ रहा है। ड्रीम सिटी, मैंने कहा ड्रीम में तो यही गलियां आती। तो जब ये रियलाइज हुआ कि कुछ बड़ा करने के लिए बड़े शहर में रहने की जरूरत नहीं, तब लगा कि लाइफ में ग्रो किया।
SIP करो, इन्वेस्ट करो, लाइफ में ग्रो करो।
प्रतिभूति बाजार में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। निवेश करने से पहले सभी संबंधित दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
But we stopped a lot of wars, including, you think about it, India and Pakistan, which was probably 2 weeks away from being a nuclear war. They were shooting down airplanes all over the place. I'm very proud of that. I thought this would be, in many ways, the easiest way. I have a very good relationship with Putin. I thought it would be the easiest one to stop, and it's really not. It's very complex. It's a very important thing to me to stop it. I stopped.
My birthday gift to पापा, ये उनके पापा की पहली गाड़ी एक गराज में पड़ी थी दार्जिलिंग में। जब इसे फाइनली घर लाया ना, तब लगा लाइफ में ग्रो किया। बुलाओ।
SIP करो, इन्वेस्ट करो, लाइफ में ग्रो करो।
प्रतिभूति बाजार में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। निवेश करने से पहले सभी संबंधित दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
MDH की देगी मीरज। देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च। पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
I choose a world where we dream and the limit is the sky, and this world is my home where I'm living my best.
Mindfully